All right, Klaus used 1/2-inch dowels. I'm going to use a 3/8 bolt and a bushing. That'll give me my 1/2-inch hole. So that's what I'm going to put. I'm going to put this inset into the plywood. My bolt will be countersunk from the bottom so it won't spin. And then for my spacers, I'll use these 1/2-inch 1/2-inch OD bushings. And I'm going to order a bunch of these. I'm going to get, obviously I'll need 16 of these. I've got a few already here. But then I'm going to get, I think this one's a 1-inch. Yeah, that's a 1-inch. I'll need some of those. And then I'll get some halves and some quarters if they make them. And then I can stack these, and then I can just change out my bolt if I happen to need these brackets to be extended up higher. So right now I have 8 of these bolts, which are these are 2-inch. I'll probably order some 3s just to start with. I'll have some 2s and 3s, and that should get me started well enough on my way. So let me get this stuff ordered. I'll let you know how much it costs. All right, here's my layout lines on my test piece, and that is the dimple from my Forstner bit. Pretty much right on the money, 2x2. I set that up with a 1-inch 3-2-1 block, 1/2-inch brass setup block, and then a 1/4-inch brass setup block. Then taking half the diameter of the drill bit, when that outside rim just touches that brass setup block, that gives you your 2-inch offset. So here's my fence setup, or sorry, 1-inch, plus a 1/4, plus a 1/2, and then when I bring my drill bit down, that just skims that edge. And then you do the same thing this direction, making sure that is flush to the fence, and then these come in here parallel to that edge. Bring your bit down and just skim the outside edge of this, and then you know you're 2x2. So I'll put my square corner in there and drill all of these center holes, because that's just the relief for the corner when you glue it up. So those can all be done at this point. And then make sure when I do these holes, I register off of this corner here. Okay, our fence is set up perfectly for drilling this hole right here, just by moving this stop block over 1-inch. So the way I'm going to do that is bring this 3-2-1 setup block in here, or anything that you trust, I guess, to register off of that. Then I'm going to move it over 1-inch. I'll get another block here. Tighten my stop block up. Now we should land right on that mark. Not bad. So I'll drill all these and come back and show you how I'm gonna locate this one. Okay, basically the same thing, only now my registration corner is over here, but those two sides are the ones that I'm using to play off of, I guess, basically. So here's my old hole, or my old setup for this one. Rotate it 90 degrees, and now I'm 1 inch this side, but I've got to be going the other direction. So +2 right there. That's my new location. So I'll get a clamp on this. Let's see, how can I do that? I can go like that. Nope. I gotta tighten that up. There we go. Make sure I land on the same mark here. That looks good. So there you go. Just by indexing, you can be much more accurate with your hole locations. All right, I'll drill all these out. Then we're going to countersink for the flange. I should have done that on my other setup first. Well, I can go back to it. No big deal. I'll drill these, countersink them, then go back to my other setup and countersink those as well. Alright, I've got my countersunk depth set for the flange. This is just below that surface. Yeah, and to make sure there, it felt like it was, yep, that's good. So that's good. So it'll go in this direction. My first one I was a little deep. So I made a minor adjustment. I'm good to go. I'll run all these. I'll relocate back to this hole, run them. Then we can waste out our material here. And the next thing will be to, when I cut these apart, I'm gonna take this corner off. So I'm gonna mark all these with an X on this side so that they all face the same direction, and then they should register perfectly because they were all drilled the same. So this is the part that I'm gonna keep. This is the corner that's gonna get wasted away, so I'm gonna put my mark here. All right, I've got two of them that I put the bushings in. Well, one of them, I even countersunk for the head of the bolt, but there's really no need to do that. At least I don't think there is. I think it'll be okay with a washer here, and then it'll act as a standoff from the bench so that it's not tight to the bottom of your workpiece. I think that's going to be okay. If not, I can always come back and do this, you know, and put that in there. This head is a little bit proud of this surface, so if I do want it flush, I'm going to have to grind those back a little bit. And the other thing I did find out here too is that, let me get this bolt out. If I do it this way with a washer, and then another washer, there's really no room for a spacer with this length bolt, a 2-inch bolt. So I've got some 4-inch bolts coming. Hopefully that'll space it up enough for at least a 1-inch spacer. I'm definitely going to need longer bolts if I want to space it up even further. So I think the 4-inch bolt is going to be your standard minimum length bolt. I think that's how it's going to work out. We'll see. So, but I like the way it goes together. As long as I keep the triangle or the registration mark. If you look here, there's my registration square, and there it is here, and they go together beautifully.
$10,000 a show, right? We take all kind of pills to give us all kind of thrills, but the thrill we never know is the thrill that'll give us.
All right, I need to round over these corners. Here's the one with my layout lines. So this is going to get cut out, so I need to round over these 3 corners. My problem is my circle cutting jig is a 1/4 inch stud that you put into a pivot hole that's less than the thickness of the piece you're working on. Okay, so you're going to pivot it on that, like a tabletop or whatever diameter you're doing. So, and the other part is it's a 1/4 inch, and this is 1/2 inch hole. So my solution around that is I made a little bigger stud here. I'll thread that in. That gives me more area to ride on. Took a 1/4 inch bushing that has a 3/8 ID or 3/8 OD into a 3/8 ID bushing that I just got. That's a 1/4 inch long, and I can slip that on there like that, or I can go the other way. Doesn't matter, just as long as the piece registers against that bushing like so. Oops, that's the wrong way. I gotta go witness mark, square mark to the right. Alright, that took about half an hour. I hit these edges too that were left by that bigger radius. I just kind of clipped them real quick and then sanded all the edges so they got a nice soft feel on that outside edge. Now the next thing is to cut these out. So I'm going to set up my sled and show you how I'm going to do that.